Hey, rideshare drivers. This is my name's Perry. Just got out of the Army after 9 years. Decided to give Uber and Lyft a shot. See how much money I can make in a month. So far, it's been a good experience. There's obviously pros and cons to any job that you do. Obviously, some of the pros is that I can just turn my app on and work whenever I want. One of the problems, though, is that just because I turn my app on to work doesn't mean I'm going to get any work. That is a problem. There's an oversaturation of drivers. Obviously, I'm going over some of the cons here first, but yeah, especially on Halloween. I made more money my first weekend, like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Obviously, it's a long weekend, but driving than I've made any other week since I've started driving. And I've put in more hours and every week since then. So it's just kind of confusing that you put in more work, like you're technically out on the road more, but making less money. And I don't know. I don't think that's because of the rate cuts. I just think it's the oversaturation of drivers. I think there should probably be some sort of quality control, not necessarily on the rating side, because we all know the rating side is pretty flawed. I've gotten a 1-star rating from a younger female who she was irritated because I was supposed to pick her up at this Staples Center or whatever, and so I turn the corner to I'm on an intersection. I turn the corner to get to the Staples, and I find a nice little spot to kind of pull over to the side and wait for the passenger to come. But I didn't see her, and a fire truck came around the intersection. Its lights were on. They were flashing. It was honking its horn, and I was like, "Oh shit!" And then I just I had to move. If I don't move, this thing's either gonna plow me out of the way or I'm gonna get a freaking huge ass ticket. So yeah, I moved out of the way. I went down the block. I turned around, and apparently she had crossed the street because she saw me, and she was like walking up on my car when I had to pull forward. So she was very rude right from the get-go. Why didn't you wait? Blah 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 blah. I was right there. I kept explaining to her, I'm sorry, there was a fire truck, and then she gave me the address, and when you're driving, sometimes you don't hear people all that well. I mean, I think she was like Indian or something. She had an accent, and she said I can't remember the name of the street, but she said this street, and I said that, and then she kind of came back at me like, no, this street. Like, I was like, oh dear, like what, what is this person's deal? Those are the kind of times where you want to just pull over and be like, get another ride. I don't want to deal with it. But I just kind of was like, I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you, type thing. Dropped her off, and then just kind of bombed my rating. You kind of have an idea of who's going to rate you. At the same time, there have been a couple times where my rating has gotten dinged, and you have absolutely no idea why. I don't know if it's because they're used to somebody handing out candy, or because people have beverages, or because I don't know, just some people are assholes, I guess. That's generally what I go with. Some people are just assholes, but that's just that comes with the job. I can deal with that once in a while. That's not a big deal. But I think that if some people who don't have as thick a skin are going to take that to heart, and you're going to end up in situations where you get in confrontation with the passenger or whatever. I don't know. We're not employees, so I don't really believe that you have to conduct yourself a certain way. The rating system kind of works itself out. It's going to get rid of some of the bad drivers, I think, but at the same time, it's also a pretty harsh system. You have, what was it, like a 4.7 rating? Like, if someone got 4.7 stars out of 5, like a movie, that's generally like a pretty good rating. That's like, let's go, we're definitely going to go see that. type thing. So I just don't understand sometimes where these ratings are coming from. And you really have no chance to explain yourself either. I wish there was some kind of way that you could, and when you receive a like a low rating, and the person writes like why you received the low rating, I wish you could like rebuttal that or something. They could probably do something to affect that, or even have some kind of quality control officer who calls or even sends you an email and says, hey, like these are things that you can do better. Like they do that every month, but for example, I was using my Uber driving to give out Lyft promos here and there, because you know we're not employees. Why should I have loyalty towards one another, especially when we're not making much money? You know, so I don't. If I were able to make $35,000-$40,000 a year driving for Uber by itself, I probably would just drive with one. But I feel like both rideshare apps have kind of done this to themselves. They've almost made it so that one needs the other. Because some people don't like Uber drivers, from what I've been told, from Lyft drivers, or Lyft passengers, I should say. Either they had a bad experience, or you know, a lot of cab drivers are quitting to become Uber drivers. And I don't really know much about the cab industry, aside from the fact that when I was in basic training, until I probably got to my first or second duty station, I didn't have a car until about 1.5 years into the Army. I had a car back home, but I ended up selling it, and it never ended up making it to any of the bases I was at. But you take taxis a lot of the time, and you can literally sit there and watch your fare just go up and up and up and up. So I love the fact that this is a much cheaper alternative. Like, I think a ride from the Fort Wayne, or from Fairbanks, Alaska airport or whatever, to Fort Wainwright would have been probably a lot cheaper had I taken an Uber driver. Plus, the guy didn't talk to me the entire time. Only got a few days left. So, nah, I'm just here getting a car wash. Anyway, this is like the 5th video I've made. I've fucked it up like 3 or 4 times already, so who knows? Who knows if I'll keep this video? But yeah, basically I have a daily routine. This is kind of how it goes. I drop my wife off at work at 2 o'clock, and then I pretty much work until she is off work at 11. So I work when she works, and I would say probably like I make 60 or 70 bucks during the day. It's not a lot. My wife is making more money than I am. You know, working a minimum wage job practically. It's like $8 an hour. Am I good? More? Where's this guy yelling? Okay. I don't know what that was all about. But yeah, I'm just waiting to go through the tunnel. Not so sure how this is going to end up halfway through the tunnel, but you know. Let's see, things I like about Lyft that you know, obviously tipping is a huge thing. You know, when you're making like 14, 15 bucks in tips every week from your you know, from just that. Plus, I've gotten cash tips from Lyft passengers as well. Like, they tip me and then tip me in cash too, which is awesome. You know, you know, that's kind of like the dream. You know, to get almost to like double dip, I guess you could say. I think the biggest fare I've had was taking someone to Tabletop, which is like a casino here in Fresno, somewhere in Fresno. It was surging. I don't remember what the surge was at, but that was my first weekend driving too, so I was like, oh, every week's gonna be like this. Nope, not even close. Like, the first week that I drove, I think that Uber, I don't know if they have something in place where like they give you a priority over other drivers. I think that might be the case, because it just doesn't make any sense that I would make more money the first week driving than any other week when I don't know where the hell I'm going. I've just moved here like a month and a half ago, so I figured like that was my base. You know, and from here on out it should go up. Not the case at all. Like Halloween was a huge disappointment. I worked 68 hours. I worked 68 hours and I made $367 with Uber, and I think it was like close to 200 with Lyft. I think it ended up being about 250 after my tips and stuff with Lyft, and I got a few tips too as well with Uber. You know, cash tips that you're not really supposed to take. But you know, fuck them. They're making billions of dollars. They say the tips are included, but they're taking commission. Where is that on my pay statement? So you know, I don't think we're getting tips. I even had a guy who told me he adds like 20% of the thing every time. I think when I dropped him off, it was like $8 or $9 that I got total. Like that's probably where the baseline price should have been in the first place. You know, when they keep on reducing the prices over and over again. This is all stuff that I've just read about and heard about through YouTube. I actually joined at the worst time. I joined when after everything has been reduced. So there's that. I love this place, by the way. If you're in Fresno and you're a Uber or Lyft driver, just go to a red carpet car wash. It's like $24.99 a month, and you get unlimited washes. I come here every day after, like whenever I drop my wife off, and they're great. They freaking wipe down your car and everything. I'm probably gonna turn this off so they're not on video, but that'd probably piss them off a little bit, having a bunch of